Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the news cycle on Global Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365. The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Kano State has expressed concerns over alleged incidents of diversion of palliatives by officials of the ruling New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. The party therefore called for an independent investigation and prosecution of the culprits. A statement issued by the state party chairman, Abdullahi Abbas, said government's failure to take necessary action against its officials found to be involved in the diversion of the palliatives may be interpreted as acts being perpetrated with its tactic support. The chairman further warned that if Governor Abba Kabir did not take any action, the APC will be forced to take legal action. The Esu Nupe, His Royal Highness Dr. Yahya Abubakar, says the role of traditional institution is crucial to the development and stability of Nigeria. Dr. Abubakar stated this in an exclusive interview with Global Television.
The colonialists, when they came, they didn't interfere. They didn't push it aside. They carried it along. Why? Because they see the binding force between the people and the kingship and the institution. The people in general and the kingship or the institution, they see a binding force of peace, the security, and progress and development. So they go along with it.
He therefore called on legislators midwifing the ongoing constitutional amendment to, as a matter of public interest, ensure that clear-cut roles for traditional rulers are provided for in the amended body of the law.
So we believe that at the stage of making policy or programs of the government or decision-making body, we should be part of it, to advise and give, our sort of values, natural, cultural values of our people.
The 10th day and final day of the national hunger protest has ended with minimal or no activity in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory described the protest as relatively successful because of the continuous queues at filling stations. Anthony Mamadou has details.
Today is the 10th day of August 2024, and it means today is the end of the national hunger protest in Nigeria that took a 10-day period. First 3 days were very eventful, where the Nigerian police force and other security agencies did shoot tear gas at unarmed protesters across the different states, where in Kano, Kaduna, and other northern states got violent and lives were lost in Zaria, specifically at Samaru, where a 16-year-old Ismail Muhammad was allegedly gunned down by a soldier on patrol at the area. He is a secondary school leaver. Very sad commentary to what Nigerians are going through. And on the 10th day, we spoke with some Nigerians, and this is what they had to say as regards the protest not being completely effective, and pleading with the federal government to do the needful to stop the hunger in the land. Likewise, the women selling groundnuts had also a word to put in as regards how fear did affect their businesses.
Look at everywhere now, there is a queue for fuel, and they no agree reduce price of fuel. If they no reduce the price of fuel, food cannot come down. So, Mona help us beg to reduce something.
So my message, may them tell people where they in charge of this country, may them help us, make it come down.
The protest has not been successful at all. There is no reason of protest, because I believe the government know what they are doing. They are not helping us. Because all of us are not government officials. All of us don't have an opportunity to work in where things are flowing. So it's just like when two elephants are fighting, the grass is suffer. So we are the grass.
So even with the protest, we have not seen any difference. It's like the protest, the suffering still continue worse than before. Because this queue, I have never queued here like this before. I've been here for almost 3 hours now.
The message from people have already been conveyed to the government. It's now left for government now to act on it. If government really listens, really cares, they're supposed to make us be happy with.
Nigerians therefore called on the federal government to return the fuel subsidy so as to end the hardship faced by Nigerians.
So there's no difference. It's still suffering, that we are still suffering. So I don't know. I just tell yourself. To me, you would have bring back this fuel subsidy, because without fuel subsidy, this suffering is not like this.
I hear you. You don't want to talk to us? I don't want to say anything. What's wrong? Don't you have faith in the government?
Yes, I don't want to talk. You say I should be talking. I don't want to talk.
And we are the ones suffering it. So I've been in this queue for the past 3 hours. And even now, I don't know if I'm going to get fuel or not. Today, Saturday, at least I was supposed to be at home. But this is where I am. I will spend the whole day here. So I don't think they have done anything to help us at all.
The 10th day and final day of the national hunger protest has been largely peaceful in the Federal Capital Territory. Thus, it is hoped that the nation and the citizens are ready for the new phase of nationhood. Anthony Momodu reporting for Global Television.
President Bola Tinubu says the economic community of West African states will continue to persuade the military leaders of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso to return their nations to the fold. Special advisor to the president in media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, revealed the outcome of the meeting in a statement. Tinubu's comments come nearly 3 weeks after he hinted at plans for a special extraordinary session to discuss the future of the economic bloc. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, architect Sonny Echona, has stressed the importance of creating visibility for the fund due to its various interventions in tertiary institutions in the country. Echona, who stated this during a courtesy visit by management staff of Global Television, led by its managing director and chief executive officer, Dr. Ibrahim Biu, said the television station has the capacity to provide the needed visibility for the fund. Edika Michael has the report.
Receiving the management staff, the Executive Secretary, architect Sonny Echona, lauded the effort made by Global Television.
I also want to express on behalf of the government appreciation for your coverage of our programs, various facets of government's responsibilities, and I want to congratulate you that within 1 year you've been able to extend your network and your coverage and the content in particular.
He made case about the importance of proper dissemination of information to the public and for stakeholders to appreciate the value of the agency in the educational sector.
The general expression is that TETFund is doing a whole lot, but not too many people even know about these until they visit our beneficiary institutions and they see logos all over the campus and so on. So I have a feeling that we needed to do more to present the achievements, the contributions of this administration to the Nigerian people.
The managing director of Global Television, Dr. Ibrahim Biu, while speaking on behalf of management, stressed on the commitment of Global Television to promote the activities and programs of Tertiary Education Trust Fund.
And I'm sure your organization both parties will benefit from the cooperation. We're going to work closely to highlight and educate Nigerians on some of the activities you are carrying on in this country. We will work closely with you to make sure that some of your projects all over the Federation is effectively covered by Global Television.
The strategic partnership aims to harness the power of television broadcasting to drive meaningful on-the-ground solutions that resonate with Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Edika Michael, Global TV News.
The Federal High Court in Kaduna has dismissed the suit filed by the immediate past governor of the state, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, seeking to set aside the ad hoc committee report of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, among other declaratory reliefs. In a ruling delivered on July 30th, 2024, and a copy of the certified true copy, Justice R.M. Aikawa held that the applicant failed to prove any of the circumstances that would warrant setting aside the precedents of the court. El-Rufai had approached the court seeking an order to set aside the proceedings of July 18, 2024 for lack of jurisdiction and non-compliance with extant laws and rules. Governor of Abia State, Alex Otti, has clarified the nagging issues surrounding some deductions in the salaries of some civil servants in the state. Otti made the declaration at the Government House Umuahia night during his monthly media interactions with newsmen. He said the government had conducted investigations in response to the complaints by some civil servants about deductions in their salaries. Otti said that the investigation revealed that the migration from the use of 2018 and 2019 tax rate to the current tax rate in deducting the taxes from salaries was responsible for the difference. Meanwhile, Abia State Governor Alex Otti says the state government will soon make a pronouncement on a new retirement age for nurses in the state from 60 years to 65 years. Otti said this at the Government House Umuahia during his monthly interactive session with newsmen. He said that the measure was part of the government's resolve to revamp the health sector, being one of the priority areas of his administration. Despite the tense situation occasioned by the prolonged long queues across the nation's capital, Abuja, amidst the aftermath of the national hunger protest, some Nigerians still show true compassion and love to their fellow citizens. Anthony Mamadu tells us more. Well, we'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. The national president of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, and the current chairman of Lafia Local Government Area of Nasarawa State, Aminu Maifata, say following the recent judgment of the Supreme Court, revenues accruing to local government councils across the country would be used judiciously. The association said with the autonomy granted the local government councils, there will be accessibility of every allocation through the revenue mobilization, allocation and fiscal commission platform that goes to grassroots administration, thereby enabling all local government chairmen to sit up and do what's right for those who elected them into office. The Kaduna State Security Council has warned that criminal elements masquerading as protesters will not be spared following a review of the current security situation in the state. In a statement, the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, said the council announced that unverified processions were prohibited due to public safety and security concerns in the state. The move, the statement noted, comes after intelligence revealed that criminals were using genuine protest as a cover to unleash terror and loot properties with the aim of plunging the state into chaos and anarchy. The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of a 17-year-old teenager who was electrocuted while working with his stepfather at a building construction site. The State Police Public Relations Officer SP Benjamin Hundeyin confirmed this to newsmen. Hundeyin said that the mother of the boy, whose name was not given, reported the case to the Agbado Police Division. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Team Nigeria's men disqualified for Olympics. We'll bring you this and other stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Cycle. In business, the crude crisis rocking the Dangote oil refinery took a new twist as the refinery engaged in an exchange of words with the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. It was reported that the Dangote Group accused the NUPRC of failing to enforce the domestic crude supply obligations effectively, saying it is yet to get enough crude locally. Reacting, the NUPRC debunked the claim, stating that it facilitated the supply of over 29 million barrels of crude oil to Dangote Refinery from January to June 2024. However, in a swift response, the Dangote Refinery said it did not receive 29 million barrels of crude. The federal government has inaugurated a $500 million Japanese International Cooperation Agency intervention project to strengthen power transmission infrastructure along the Lagos-Ogun Industrial Corridor. The Special Advisor in Strategic Communication and Media Relations to the Minister of Power, Bolaji Tunji, disclosed this in a statement. The GCARE project aims to boost power transmission infrastructure within and outside the Ogun Industrial Corridors, covering Agbara, Mowe, and Shagamu industrial clusters. A billionaire Nigerian businessman, Tony Elumelu, has challenged the federal government and security agents to expose the oil thieves ferrying out the country's crude. He gave the challenge in an interview with newsmen, saying the development is responsible for the divestment of international oil companies in the country. While expressing optimism over the situation, Elumelu noted that out of 42,000 barrels of crude pumped out daily, theft takes away about 18% of production from the field. He further urged the government to investigate and reveal those behind the massive oil heist in the country. The federal government has inaugurated a $500 million Japanese International Cooperation Agency and intervention projects to strengthen power transmission infrastructure along the Lagos-Ogun Industrial Corridor. I apologize for that mix-up. The Osun State Internal Revenue Service says it will begin clamping down on business premises that have failed to fulfill their tax obligations to the government. According to a statement by the information officer of the agency, Oluwaseun Ayeni, the chairman of OIRS, Adeshola Adewumi, during an awareness campaign held in Oshogbo to demand compliance from the business owners, said by Monday the government would seal off defaulting business premises. Adewumi, who was represented at the awareness campaign, gave all tax defaulting businesses in the state another grace to pay up their dues before the clampdown would begin. On the foreign scene, authorities say all 61 people on board a plane that crashed in southeastern Brazil have died as they were investigating the possible causes of its dramatic nosedive into a residential area. Vopas, the airline that operated the flight, reported that the 57 passengers and 4 crew members who were on board the plane died. The aircraft, made by the French-Italian manufacturer ATR, was traveling from Cascavel in the state of Paraná in the country's south to the international airport of Guarulhos in Sao Paulo. An Israeli airstrike on a school building sheltering displaced Palestinians in Gaza City has killed more than 70 people. The director of Al-Ali Hospital, Fadi Nim, where many of the casualties were taken, said those were the victims who had been identified so far, with the remains of many others badly disfigured. An identification was difficult. He says the situation was catastrophic and doctors were unable to treat those seriously wounded. Twin jailbreaks in Bangladesh killed at least 12 inmates and freed hundreds more in the chaotic days after the ouster of autocratic Premier Sheikh Hasina. The interim government is struggling to restore law and order, with police going on strike after Hasina's sudden resignation and flight abroad after 15 years in power. This week's prison escapes, both north of the capital Dhaka, are the latest in a series of breakouts during weeks of nationwide unrest leading up to her toppling. In sports, the quartet of Emmanuel Ojeli, Ezekiel Nathaniel, Dube Mamene and Chidi Okezie have been disqualified from the men's 4x400 meters relay at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The men's team had finished second in the semi-final heat with a season's best. However, the referee disqualified Team Nigeria when one of them impeded a South African athlete following a changeover. World record holder Toby Amusan still has a slim chance of running in the women's 100-meter hurdles final at the Paris 2024 Olympics, but that depends on any of the 8 finalists electing not to run the race due to injury or any other reason. Amusan narrowly missed out on a spot in the final after finishing third in the first semi-final with a time of 12:55 seconds. She lost the chance to automatically qualify for the race in the process, and her hopes of qualifying as one of the fastest non-automatic qualifiers were dashed after Frances Sarena Samba Mayela produced 12:52 seconds to nick the last spot. That's it on the news cycle, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.